Hello, and welcome to the fourth section of our course, Parallelism using Web Workers. In this video, we're going to see what are web workers. In the sections before, we have seen several techniques to achieve asynchronous behavior in JavaScript code, but all that we have seen before were actually executed on one single thread, so even when we run some long-term computations inside our browsers, like performing for loop for 2 million of times, for example, which is a lot, our browser will freeze even if we execute the code inside Web API by using setTimeout. If you paste the following code in your browser console and hit enter, you will see that the tab become unresponsive for a long time. You cannot even close the tab. At least this is true at the moment of writing this course. Maybe in the future versions of ECMAScript this will be improved. But at the same time, the other tabs are working fine as they are operating on different threads. In many cases, former code will be completed in around 10 seconds. If in your case it runs immediately, try to increase iterations count to 500 million or more. So this can be considered a benchmark test. Because of such issues, a new web API was introduced called Web Workers. Currently, all modern browsers support this API. A web worker is a JavaScript program running on a different thread, in parallel with the main thread. Usually, the browser creates one thread per tab. The main thread can spawn an unlimited number of web workers until the user system resources are fully consumed. As soon as browser tab is closed, the main thread dies and kills any web workers it have created. So the web worker is a piece of code written in JavaScript which will be running on completely separate way in parallel. The communication with web workers is happening by using events. So we can share messages between our main code and the web worker's code, and also a data payload. The messages passing is done using the post message API, and the payload goes inside those messages. According to the specification, there are two types of web workers: a default or dedicated web worker, the one that is only accessible from the script that first created it; a shared web worker. This one is accessible by multiple scripts, even if they are being accessed by different windows, iframes, or even other workers.